You've worked hard to build a dream retirement. Now it's time to put that plan into action. This is Retire ATL with Aaron Vincent and Matt Decker. The team at Vincent Financial wants to help you build, protect, and grow income to get you to and through retirement. Now, Retire ATL with Aaron Vincent and Matt Decker.
This is the Retire ATL podcast, all powered by the Vincent Financial Group. You can get more when you visit retireatlradio.com. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. Now, let's get to the show. My name is Mark Owens. Gentlemen, we've been talking the past couple of weeks about these clickbait articles. About they're trying to stoke a little bit of fear.
Oh, yeah, you see them.
Yeah, all the time. What do we say? Live apartment fire, or if it bleeds, it leads.
That's right.
So we talked last week. You can go check it on the Retire ATL podcast. Stream it at retireatlradio.com about those that say you can't retire unless you have $5 million. We debunked that. Go check out the podcast. Another one I've seen recently is the term Spendophobia. It's a fear of adults.
A fear of adults?
I'm scared of them. I don't like the adults. Keep them away from
Let me phrase that again. Spendophobia is the fear that adults have of spending money in retirement. They've worked their entire life.
That makes a lot more sense.
Because my kids do not have spendophobia.
No, neither
Let me
do
tell you
mine.
that.
But
right
I am terrified of adults, though.
Yeah,
I don't want to face it. So you see that term Spendophobia. Is it real, though? I mean, are people out there, are they afraid to spend their money?
100% it's real.
Oh, yeah.
It's the most real thing that there is as far as retirement planning, I feel like, because most people that we talk to have done way more than they realize, meaning that their retirement savings will get them farther than they think in a retirement income. That's a general comment I'm making, but that's not uncommon to feel that. And I've come to the conclusion that you, as a retiree, you need to see it. It needs to be proven to you that you can spend X amount. And not just some quick back of a napkin math like, hey, you've saved this much. And, our formula, the 4% safe withdrawal rule is a thing of the past. With our formula, you can spend more like 7%. No, it's nothing like that.
Do you think those answers are just too easy?
Yes.
Like it's too quick, it's too easy?
Yes. I think it definitely is. And I think it feels cheap.
Yeah.
It feels like I've worked 40 years or 50 years or 60 years, whatever, to build this portfolio.
You can't give me this answer in 10 minutes.
And if you can give me an answer in 10 minutes, then that's just not enough for me. I need to see
I worked
more.
way too hard to
Correct.
just come in here and get an answer after 30 minutes.
Correct.
So I'm missing something.
And what it can't account for is all the different nuances of everyone's different life. Like if me doing an income calculation for one set of clients will not be the same calculation as it is for another set of clients. It's not just a math equation. It's about your life. It's about where is your money at from a saving perspective.
Way too many financial advisors try to make it a math equation.
Yes.
Which I understand.
Yep.
As kind of the math person in the room, I'm not ashamed to admit.
What are you trying to say? I'm not a math person?
You said that. I didn't say
It's
that.
true. I'm not a math
They,
person.
I have a fear of
they say you're not a math person. I wouldn't say that, but they say you're not a math person. I can see why we in the business make it about math, because then we don't have to talk about feelings and emotions, which is obviously much more difficult to talk about.
Right.
But if we can just talk about the math and be like, oh, X plus Y, and then we carry the 1 and you're good. You can spend $10,000 a month and not have to worry about it. This was a great 30-minute meeting. I'm glad you came in. It's like, I get why we try to do that, because it gives us permission to not wade into the deeper waters.
Right. Which is the waters we have to get into. Maybe not on meeting 1, but you have to. And so it's already a big enough hurdle psychologically or emotionally for a retiree or someone who's approaching retirement to basically in their mind come to grips with the fact that I've been trading my time for dollars for, let's call it 40 years. And that has allowed me to accumulate a pile of money. However big your pile of money is, it is what it is. And you're telling me I can end that relationship forever. I no longer have to go and
The time for money relationship.
I no longer have to go and earn a paycheck anymore. You're telling me I can do that. Well, just hard stop, period. That's it. That by itself is a big hurdle for someone to get over. I mean, habits are powerful things. Like there's books written about habits. If you got a 40-year-long habit, working, getting paid, saving, investing, and that's how you pay your bills, and that's how you earn your living and all that. And then you're just supposed to just, 65, that's over now. Yeah. Let's move on. That's hard to do. And so then if you add on to that a lot of other sort of hypothetical scenarios, and if this, then that, and then apply taxes to it and market risk and then interest rates and then, healthcare costs. And then before you know it, you're 5 minutes in and a person's head is swimming and for good reason. So I think, and this is why our process is what it is, it's pretty thorough. People tell us all the time, and this blows my mind, but also I'm glad this is what we hear, that I've never been through a process like this in my life. People say, yeah, I went to so-and-so's seminar last year and, it was okay. And I learned a few things.
And I bought a product.
Yeah, maybe I haven't bought a product, but I've engaged the free service that my 401k company allows. It's an 800 number I can call them and get a retirement kind of exam. Okay, I've done that, and okay, I learned a few things, but I've never been through a process like your process where we are talking before and after, and we're attaching stress testing to these numbers, and we're saying if 2008 happened again, how would that affect my income, not just my portfolio balance. Not just a math equation that's like, okay, S&P down 40%, your portfolio down X%. That means your balance reads X. No, it's so much more than that. It's, what does that mean for your retirement income? What does that mean for the taxes you have to pay? And so on and so forth. And so I think people need to see it. They can't just hear the words, you can spend X amount. They need to see the rationale of how you get to that conclusion. And I think that's what we focus on.
And even then, we're still talking, even this conversation right now, we're still in the world of math. We haven't even touched emotions yet.
Right.
So going a layer deeper, it might be, okay, so here's what you can spend. That's what the math says. But tell me why you want to spend $15,000 a month. Why do you want to spend $15,000 a month? And a lot of times the answer we get back is, well, I don't really know. I think that's what I need. Okay, that's
number
fine.
Sounds safe to me.
Yeah, that number sounds safe, but okay, tell me more though. But like, why? What is it that you're attached to? What are you going to do? And then they start telling us, and okay, and we maybe tally some things up, and we're like, okay, we're at about like $8,000 a month. So tell me again, why do you need to spend $15,000? And a lot of times, in fact, this happened maybe a month ago, talking to a couple, and they had a huge spending goal, and we kept asking why, because it just wasn't adding up. What they said they were going to do, the lifestyle that they lived, did not match up with what she was saying. And I just kept asking why. I'm like, why? You got to tell me more. I don't understand. Help me understand. Help me understand where you're coming from. And finally, she broke down in tears. And she's like, I know why. It's because my parents lost everything. And I saw what it did to them when they were broke with nothing trying to retire. And I saw how it crushed my dad. And I can't do that. I can't go through that. And so you're right. We don't actually need to be able to spend that much money. I recognize that I'm just coming from a place of fear.
Yeah.
And I'm just artificially inflating this number because I don't want to happen to me and my husband what happened to my parents. And it's like, okay, now we're having the conversation.
Right.
This is the conversation that we need to be having. And we can give you the math answer in 10 minutes, but it might take a couple hours over the next several months to unpack this right here. Because if we bring this mindset into retirement, there's no plan that's going to, from a math standpoint, there's no magic dust that we can sprinkle over the plan that's going to actually solve the emotional piece of this, which is, you saw some stuff go down with your parents and you're just trying for everything to avoid what happened there. Let's talk about that.
We're talking about spendophobia, right?
Yep.
The fear of a retiree being able to spend their money. And I think anytime, Matt, you mentioned fear, whenever there's fear involved, we get defensive, just as humans. When I say defensive, that might be like a, defense mechanism, like
fight or flight.
You can be a defensive person. You're going to kind of, but what I'm talking about more is like when we get into these conversations, maybe you, to the point that you're talking about those clients that were in our office, defensive might mean, well, I'm going to pad the stats quite a bit. My income, my spend per month may only be $8,000 or $9,000 that I actually need. I'm going to tell you it's 15 because I just want to build in a big old amount of margin, because what if? I'm fearful. I don't want to tell you that because I'm embarrassed about it, but I'm going to tell you that it's $15,000 a month because I need to know that I got a lot of margin built in because I don't know what's going to happen. So that's one way. Or what also often happens is the process to go from I've saved a pile of money to I'm creating an income stream with that money. There's a lot that goes into that. We do it every day. We love it, but there's a lot that goes into it. That's why our process is a 3-meeting process.
It's a big elephant to eat.
It is. And a lot of times I find people, I observe that they, in kind of peeling back the layers of the onion in these meetings, I find out like, okay, tell me again why it's 15,000, because I'm looking at your list of spending and it's only, to your point, Matt, 8 or 9,000. He's like, okay, well, here's why I did it that way. Here's my math. Because I know I'm afraid inflation's going to be high. So I'm already accounting for, like, if I need $8,000 per month this year, I'm probably going to need $15,000 a month in 10 years. I'm like,
Happens all the time.
Perfect. Thank you. Here's the good news. The number that we just gave you at the end of the third meeting of our plan, that's already indexed for inflation. That's already after taxes. That's already after we've stress tested for market volatility. That's already after we've assumed higher than normal inflation. That's already after we assume healthcare costs inflate faster than anything. All of that stuff. And they kind of sit back and say, you did all that? Like,
So now how do you feel about $9,000 a month?
Okay, $9,000 in today's dollars, that's going to be the equivalent to $9,000 in 25 years. That's what you're telling me that is? Yes.
I'm not going to spend near that much. It's like, right, exactly.
So now we're back to point one. Now we're having the real conversation. And that it just takes some time. People need to see it. And I understand why. It's one of the biggest decisions you're going to make, when to pull the trigger on leaving your paycheck behind and accepting your paycheck that comes from your pile of money. That's a big deal. And so I understand why people need to see it, and I understand why there is a spendophobia reality.
I'm confident that if this is a conversation that you want to have, we are a safe place to have this conversation, to give you answers to some of these questions. We're going to dig probably a little bit deeper than what you're used to. It's not just a math equation, right?
We're not going to judge you publicly.
No. Absolutely not. Just privately. No, we're not going to judge you at all. You should call the number 770-741-0120, retireatlradio.com. Again, it's a quick, easy phone call to get on our calendar to have these conversations and see where you are currently. 770-741-0120.
A lot of people, they probably come to you for the first time thinking their portfolio is a bit of a mess. And it's like going to the dentist. You think that your mouth is a mess. You're going to have the worst teeth that that dentist has seen all day, all week, all month, all year. Pretty safe to assume that that dentist is going to look at you and say, not even close. You're going to take your portfolio to the team at the Vincent Financial Group. You're going to think, listen, I've made some financial mistakes in the past. This is probably going to be rough. This is going to be a lot of work. And there's a chance, there's an opportunity. You may just say, buddy, you're doing so much better than you think you are.
Absolutely. That's very common. And know this as well. Our first conversation is purely get to know you. And yes, we're going to talk about your portfolio some. I mean, we're going to get somewhere in that meeting, but it's not like, let's pull back the hood and let's get our hands dirty on this portfolio and let me tell you all that's wrong with it. No, the first 30 minutes is literally like, hi, my name is Aaron. It's good to meet you. What's your name?
Yeah.
And it's like,
why are you here?
Like, what do you do for a living? And are you married? Do you have kids? Are you single? Are you from here? What do you like to do? Like, we have a saying in our office, life is too short to work with people that you don't like. And it's kind of a joke, but it's also kind of serious. Like, whenever your phone rings and it's a call from me to do your quarterly review, and you're like, oh, God, I do not want to pick up. It's Aaron calling. I'm so dreading this phone call.
That's how I feel when Aaron calls me.
If that's how you feel, something's not working. And so we're just getting past all that. Like, so by the time we get into the details of your portfolio in that first meeting, we're already laughing. We're already talking about life. We're all just people in the room.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it is way less intrusive and aggressive than you might think, and it's also just the first meeting is get to know you.
And speaking of meeting the team at the Vincent Financial Group, Matt, some great complimentary educational seminars coming up from the Vincent Financial Group. Tell me about it.
That's right. We got them all over the Atlanta metro area. For the next couple months, we'll be North Metro. So we'll be in Marietta, we'll be in Ackworth, and we will be in Canton at the different Chattahoochee Tech campuses that are kind of across the metro area. It used to be a 2-night event on retirement planning, and we went through, oh my gosh, so much information. We found that it was just maybe a little bit too much. So we've boiled it down to one night where we're going to go over, at the very least, our 3 key pillars, which is going to be taxes, risk, and income planning. And then I always like to ask the audience, like, what do you guys want to talk about? And so if there's some other common themes that come out of the audience, we'll write it up on the board and we'll try to hit those points as well. But every single time we do one of these, people leave and they say, I learned something. And not only did I just learn something, but I learned something that I think I can go implement. So whether you end up hiring us or meeting with us for that first appointment, you are going to leave this event with something that you can go and immediately implement, or at least do some research on to make your retirement, whether it's smoother, more comfortable, or just more optimized, you will definitely leave with that information. I'd encourage you to text our number. Don't call it, text it, 770-741-0120. You can text the word seminar, 770-741-0120. Again, Marietta, Ackworth, Canton, all coming up in the next couple months. We'll get you the schedule, where we'll be, the times, and get you slotted into the spot that's best for you. We always save some spots for our radio listeners, so definitely take advantage of that.
And of course, they always reserve spots exclusively for our radio audience. So you want to kick the tires a little bit on the Vincent Financial Group, get to know the team. We invite you to join them for one of their great upcoming seminars. No cost, no obligation to join. 770-741-0120. Just text the word seminar. One of the team members will be back in touch with you. Or you can always get more at retireatlradio.com.
You know, we're talking about spendophobia, which is not a fear of adults, like Mark said. It's a fear of spending money. And it got me thinking, as we were just kind of sitting here and I was hearing Aaron talk about volatility and just making the transition. We're in 2026. About 25 years ago, we were in the dot-com bubble. And it just hit me that if you're somebody who's retiring now, you know, maybe you're in your early 60s, late 50s, presumably you have parents. And what were they doing 25 years ago? They were probably retiring or close to it. And so we have people come into our office that are, as Aaron said, overinflating the number. They're worried about spending money. It's hard for us to get to the root of why. And it just struck me that most of you watched your parents go through a 3-year stretch in the market when they were probably trying to retire and they got absolutely decimated.
And their parents lived through the Great Depression.
Exactly.
So it's like,
Exactly. So there's tons of generational PTSD, maybe, is what we should call it, generational market trauma that is centering around this transition from accumulating your money to distributing your money. And if there's one thing that you can take from your parents maybe retiring in the dot-com bubble or your great-grandparents going through the Great Depression, it's that when you've done enough saving, when you are in the retirement window, you've done the bulk of your savings, losing money is going to hurt you way more than making money is going to help you. If you're sitting there looking at your portfolio and you think, I might be close, it's not as much as I wanted it to be. I had a dollar amount in mind and I'm not quite there yet, but I'm awfully close. This is my word of caution to you. You are at a point where losing money is going to hurt you infinitely more than making money is going to help you. Let's say it a different way. You losing 30% is catastrophic. You making 30% this year is not going to move the needle as much as you think. It's just not. We do this every single day. We run this exercise for people that come into our office every single day. And time again, we see your eyes widen and we see the aha moment click when you get to lay your eyes on what your portfolio can do if it loses 30% versus what it can do if it makes 30%.
which is part of our process, showing you that stress test. You will see the before and after.
Exactly. And so many people say, wow, I had no idea how much risk I had on the table and just what kind of risk it was putting me at. I mean, it could be the difference between, hey, you can spend $6,000 a month. Or you can spend, maybe you need 10. And right now we're sitting at, you can spend 10. Something bad happens, 30% loss in the market. Hey, we're down to like $6,500 a month. You make 30%, it goes from 10 to 11.
Yeah.
Do you see the disparity between these two, losing versus making money? And so many people don't see it through that lens because you've been accumulating money. And it doesn't work the same way when you're in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. Once you start drawing down your income, once you're in the retirement window, please, please, please hear me on this. Losing money is going to hurt you way more than making money helps. And we can help alleviate some of that stress by going through our process. 770-741-0120.
That's right. If you're going to consider hiring us, and you don't decide that in meeting one, you decide that well into our process, after our process, then we feel like the burden of proof is on us to show you these things, not to just convince you, not to just try to kind of communicate in a way where you finally agree with us. No, show you. And so that burden of proof is on us. It's not on you to ask the right questions. Well, in doing so, we are providing an income plan. So to Matt's point, the stress and anxiety that is removed whenever you can actually see the income and see the before and after of certain market swings and things like that. We had a client recently, I wanted to tell this story real quick. We got him and his wife ready to retire. It was a long process. They met with us, went through our 3-meeting process. 3 months later, they were still thinking about it. Finally, they pulled the trigger. They hired us. We got everything ready. We implemented their plan. He's like, I'm still going to keep my job, but I want you to turn on this income stream that you've built for me. I want to feel it hit my account for a few months. I know it's probably not going to be ideal from a tax perspective because I'll have 2 incomes. I'm still working, but it's worth it to me to just feel the experience of, you guys say I can spend $12,000 a month after taxes. Show me. I want it deposited into my account. I want to see what it looks like. I want to watch you do the tax withholding and so on and so forth. And we did that. And so my point in telling you that story is just to say, we got to meet everyone where they're at. Some people are just like, hey, great. I'm not a high stress. I'm not overthinking this. I'm ready to retire. What can I do? And they just seem to be okay with adopting those things. Others are like, no, I got to see it. I got to feel it. I got to touch it. I want to experience it first. And so wherever you fall on that spectrum, let us be the ones to show you the difference between, kind of managing a portfolio this way and hoping and scratching and clawing for that extra return, or taking some risk off the table and having a more enjoyable ride. We can show you how each of those feels before you're stuck making a giant decision.
Insurance products are offered through the Insurance Business Advanced Planning Group. Vincent Financial Group is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Advanced Planning Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Advanced Planning Group and IPW are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be constructed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Vincent Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained by sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Vincent Financial Group. This podcast is a paid placement.